Tiger Tool Kingpin press. We're dry assembling it here just to make sure we're doing it right before we get it put together. Directions are a little hard to view and everything, and it looks like it's a slightly different model in the directions. Things are a little different, but there's a link to a video. Made it easier to watch, so. So there it is assembled. You can kind of see how it works with the Kingpin in the middle there. This locks in and holds on the axle, kind of pinches in, and it uses the heads, not the ends, so you don't mess up the threads. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just like any other kind of press, and you just have room to get it on there and position it. We'll see how it goes. We're removing the dust grease cap on the top.
Kidding me?
There's no cotter pin in it?
There doesn't seem to be a cotter pin in it. I thought there was one over here, and I got to clean and grease out, and it was just a chunk of hardened up grease.
Let's see.
It does seem like they smashed the hell out of the edge of it with the hammer, so it might not fall off.
So this one has a little snap ring on the bottom.
Socket wouldn't fit on the nut because they messed it up. Ready?
Yep. And unlike on a semi where you can get an impact gun on that, we don't have that kind of clearance on a bus. And it's walking off the top already.
How much am I on there by?
A good amount still.
Feels like it's moving, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just pushing that dust seal on the bottom.
All right, we took the press off. Now that it's freed up from the hard part, it should just...
That feels really bad though.
That's rusty up there, huh? And worn.
Probably didn't help that that bolt was finger tight.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like the taper was actually in there really well. Because normally that part stays clean in the middle.
Definitely was leaking down here around the bearing, but I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, that would have made it bad to drive.
It's really hard to grab. There we go. Well, you can see right there. That's where the bushing ends, right here.
Yep.
Unless the entire thing's missing.
Yeah, there should be no wear on that whatsoever. That's crazy. Thank you to Amaze for sponsoring this video. Go to amaze.com/busgreasemonkey for your chance to win this Airstream Caravelle 20FB and a Ram 1500 limited truck. This Airstream Caravelle comes with all the perks packed into one sleek silver package, including a full-size memory foam mattress, premium kitchen appliances, a bathroom with modern built-ins, quiet stream climate control, and more. Also included in the sweepstakes prize is a truck to pull the trailer. This Ram 1500 limited truck seats 5 people, has a Hemi 5.7-liter V8 engine, it's 4-wheel drive, that's 395 horsepower. The donations from the sweepstakes are going to help support Mutt Nation. That's a charity founded by award-winning artist Miranda Lambert and her mother Bev. Mutt Nation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with a mission to facilitate the adoption of shelter pets, promote spaying and neutering, and educate the public about the benefits of those actions. Mutt Nation also works with transport partners to assist and relocate animals after natural disasters. Once again, go to amaze.com/busgreasemonkey for your chance to enter this sweepstakes. This is moving. Very interesting to see what that bushing looks like. Where'd it go?
Probably that way.
Oh, it's up back under there on your side.
Under the tie rod.
Yeah, it's got extra holes in it that it didn't used to have. Putting the new bushings in. Put those in the freezer. Under the air handle. And these do need to be reamed. Okay, so the Kingpin is replaced now. And then we also replaced this link here. It only had like 4 threads holding the original bolt on. And then that was so loose there on the drag link that it was falling apart. So the steering is going to be so much tighter now with that not... it was moving probably a 1/4 inch back and forth before the drag link would actually move there. So that's good that we're making progress on that. We got the new brake chambers, new brake hoses, airbags, block off plates, new leveling valve. Everything up here is ready to go. New radius rod bushings, those were tough to put in. But yeah, the front looks really good up here. And now for a dance break.
Grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's grease, that bus grease monkey, don't you know?
Brand new races installed. We threw them in the freezer overnight. Actually, they were in there for a couple days, and super easy to install them when they're cold like that. We're just putting new bearings and seals in here, clean up the brake drum, and this side's ready to go. All right, so we got the new brake can on, new airbags, new shocks. Everything's greased up on the front here. New radius rod bushings are all on. It's got brand new wheel bearings and wheel seals. Getting ready to go back together. This side is just about ready to have wheels go back on. That did not want to come off, and you can see how corroded it was. That's the inversion valve that we're replacing on here. The crank and pulley. I just gotta, I only got a little bit to get off of there.
Put a small cut through there and I should be able to get it off, but look at that.
Yeah.
Here, hold that. I broke the other side too. Here you go.
Cut it off. Moving it. Low on oil?
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing coming out?
No.
All right, so we got this seal replaced here on the shaft, and the bearings feel really good. There's no slop. The squirrel cage fans move real easily. He got very lucky, the fact that it was out of oil. I mean, we took the cap off to here and no oil came out, and the bottom is only a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch at the most below that part. So we filled the oil now where you can see it in the sight glass here. It's real easy to check it. You need to make sure you always check that on these MCIs. If this thing runs out of oil, this gear goes out, you lose all your cooling fans and you overheat. So it's very, very important. I can't believe how smooth this feels. It just spins. It's beautiful. Very, very lucky. Okay, we got another hub with all new races in it, and we're gonna put new bearings and new seal. And this kind of has a gasket that goes around the bearing retainer, so that thing holds the seal retainer, sorry. But yeah, this is the other side, just about ready to be done. Man, they used something to seal this end of this axle shaft with that it's not Permatex, it's not rubber, it's more like a plastic. Like that's where it's like a red Loctite or something, but it's all over everything. It's very hard to scrape off. But it's very plasticky. It's not rubbery. You can see through it. It's transparent. I don't know what it is, but it is a pain in the ass to scrape off. It's nice when the axles have a fill plug where you can, this one's actually easy to get out, but actually add the gear oil so we don't have to, otherwise we tip it up and down and that's a pain in the ass. So this, by having this thing here, it saves us 15 minutes, maybe half hour worth of work. These battery terminals are pretty corroded, so we're getting everything kind of going to clean it all up. We went ahead and charged them individually, but yeah, they're a little bit, need a little love. Our steering's got a little leak. We found that fitting right there was loose. We're hoping that maybe that's just what it is, because the hoses themselves are pretty dry coming in from the top there. It was actually the one on the back side, the top one, that was the loose one, so it would have kind of sprayed over everything there. The hoses themselves look to be in pretty good condition. They're relatively new compared to everything else on the bus, so let's hope that's one thing it's not going to cost them money to fix. A little bit of a rust hole through the floor in here. This is the only place where rust is really bad, is right up here. And it's nothing structural, but definitely needs to get addressed. That's about 1 foot across, just to give you some scale. Can't even assemble these brake cans with the clevis already on it or even the bolt because it doesn't fit through the hole. So on these MCIs, you have to push it through and then feed all this on. It's easier probably if you take the slack adjuster off. But yeah, you can't just, more normally you can have all that stuff already mounted on a brake can, just stick it in the hole and then attach it, but it doesn't fit through the hole, so you gotta assemble it piece by piece. That means we gotta put it on with the push rod only through the hole. Pain in the butt. So the other side, the airbags held air overnight. This side, it leaked down the first night. So the other side's been up for 2 days still. We sprayed everything down with soap, the new leveling valve, the airbags, nothing's leaking here. So the leak is a pinhole leak somewhere up in the air beam here. The way these airbags work is they're open at the top and the air is up in this beam. And it's kind of a big dampener as it goes down the road. But any kind of a pinhole leak, a rust leak, anywhere in that beam, on the inside, anywhere, and it won't hold air. So we're leaking out air, so that the solution to that is we put a block off plate across the top of each bag, and then we fill each bag individually with air. But to do that, we need to do the other side as well, because it's not good to just do one, because then the ride, the stiffness it's more stiff on this side of the axle than the other side, so we gotta do both sides now. So we gotta take the airbags back off, just the top of them, put the plates on, use longer hardware. It's about a $2,000 extra fee to do this. The plates are $300-something each, so there's a lot, and then the labor involved in it and everything too. So it is not an easy undertaking, but we're leaving everything off for right now. We haven't put the brake cans back on because they'll be in our way, and we'll have better access. We'll actually take these shocks back off too, just so we have better access to get those plates on, and then we can finish putting everything back together under here. So these are how those airbags are open. There's a steel plate on the bottom of the beam that blocks it off, and the top goes up into the air beam. And now we're gonna put these what are called block off plates. So it's basically an aluminum plate that goes on the top. The air fitting goes in the side on it, and then there's a little hole on the inside that comes through from the air fittings that fills the bag. So it blocks off the air beam. And these cost about $300 a piece. And it takes 4 of them to do the 4 rear airbags for the drive axle. So this is a $2,000 repair by the time you pay for labor on it and everything, parts to do that. So it's definitely not cheap. That includes the bolts. The bolts are like $4 a piece, and there's, like 12, I think, in each one. So yeah, it's quite a process, unfortunately. A little extra expense we had to go through on this one. All the new brake hoses and inversion valve, everything's looking pretty. We just got some air lines to run that are gonna go to the brakes and such. But it's definitely looking better under here. We added a little cigarette lighter adapter and USBs on here, and it's 12 volt. This bus is 24 volt, so we had to wire that in for him special so he could hook up his GPS and charge his cell phone and that kind of stuff. So the driver compartment here is pretty stock in this bus still. And he didn't waste his time doing any conversion stuff. He was waiting till all the mechanical stuff was done before he knew that. But it's got a nice look to the bus already. When it gets done, it'll be really, really nice. But yeah, he hasn't done any of that stuff yet because he wanted to make sure the mechanicals got taken care of. And boy, did this bus need it. It's just about everything underneath is brand new down there. Well, this bus has been in the shop for 3 weeks now, almost 3 weeks. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks. It's getting there. It should be done in the middle of next week, we're hoping. Get it going. Just got the airbags left to go and then putting the wheels back on it. And still got to do the engine oil change. We got engine oil back there for it. That's no big deal. But yeah, we've crossed off so much stuff on the list on this, and the underside is almost completely new on it. And other than that one little area of rust in that compartment right there, it is relatively rust-free. All the rust problems that we came across were just fasteners and stuff like that. There was no structural rust that we were coming into. And then we went ahead and undercoated everything for him to try and protect it and preserve it just a little bit more. So hopefully that'll help him out. But overall, it is a nice bus. It just had a lot of serious lack of maintenance on it. And we'll probably do one more video on this bus before we're done. And I can't wait for the test drive on it. That's gonna be really, really nice. We'll have a video out on the Prevo in a few days. That project is coming along really good too. And that one should be out of here in the middle of next week as well.
Up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. At the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.